Hello everyone, welcome to the Majestix Heroclix Podcast. If you like our content, please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. If you're interested in learning more about the Bronze Age format and the Majestix Open Series, please check out openseries.majestixccg.com. Also, if you want to learn about Heroclix strategies, tactics, and lists from the game's top players, please visit majestixccg.com/apex-insiders. Lastly, if you're looking for Heroclix singles, please visit our eBay stores at stores.ebay.com/MajestixHeroclix and stores.ebay.com/ClicksCollective. All the links for everything I just talked about is below in the description. And again, my name is Jeff, and I am joined by my co-host Clay Wood and Patrick Booth.
Hey guys.
How are you tonight? Congrats to Clay for winning the most recent event at my store this past weekend. Dude, he crushed it. Went undefeated. Nobody touched this man.
He chopped them all down like trees in the forest.
Yeah, you guys make it sound a lot easier than it actually was. Ooh, what a tough day it was, man. Such good competition.
I felt like it was a pretty.
I was put through the ringer. That's for sure.
You're so generous. You just beat all those, bad players, right?
I wish. I feel like I finished every game, and it was just like, whew, that was a close one, repeatedly. So.
I will say, I feel like you make it sound worse in the game than it actually is, because I remember especially specifically in that last one, like Paul got your guy, and you're like, oh no, like it sounded like the game is lost, and I come back.
To be fair though.
And I'm like, you're winning.
To be fair, Paul then was like, okay, I'm done with my turn. And then at the end of the game, he realized, oh, wait, he actually had two more actions. he could have like running shot pulse waved my entire team.
Oh, jeez.
With Sakai and Iron Man.
Oh, Jedi mind tricked him out of attacking you anymore.
We were both so fried.
It was a long day.
He definitely could have. I mean, he could have done more damage, and I barely managed to come back.
Squeak one out. Well, you did. All right, so we did 4 rounds of Swiss. Cut the top 8. What was your first round against, or who was your first round against?
Yeah, so my first round was my arch nemesis, Alyssa, playing her animal team. I think this is the first time I've actually beat Alyssa in a year. The last time I beat Alyssa was in, I think, November of last year. And she has continually trounced me. Not just barely edged out the victory, but like trounced me repeatedly. She was playing her animals team that she's become very well known for. And she plays it so damn well. It's very, very tough to deal with. She can get to you anywhere on turn 2. And 3, the 3 maggots give her effectively 7 actions because the pogs that they pop out are autonomous, and that's in addition to the poison. Mm-hmm. But fortunately, the new set provided some pretty nice answers. So she plays Cosmo, who allows her to cancel a power, and Ghost Rider in the new set says no.
Nice try.
But I will say, I think that probably more than anything, what helped in the matchup was the positioning. It took me a while to work out how to position my team on turn 1 in a way that is extremely difficult for her to get to. And I don't think we actually figured. I'm not sure. We were chatting about this last night in the post-game dinner, and I don't think we actually quite figured out how she could have thwarted my positioning, other than winning map and putting me on a different map. But I every time I've ever played her, she always wants to go first because she has that giant swing. And so I kind of was, I was anticipating that she would give me the choice of the map. And that worked the first game. And then miraculously, I somehow managed to beat her in the roll-off for the second game.
And what map did you put her on?
Yeah, so the map that I put almost every single, I managed to win a ridiculous number of, or I was able to pick map, I think 6 out of my 7 games, which was pretty remarkable. And my go-to map for every single matchup was the Injustice Gang hideout. Maybe we should actually pause and I should talk about my team, as I think it will give a little bit of insight into why I picked this map. So, all right, Jeff's bringing it up.
You guys see it?
Yep, looks great.
Scroll down a smidge more, that'd be great, so we can see the map layout.
Yeah, zoom out just a little bit more, so we can get the whole card there, or at least one whole card in there. You can zoom in one step. There you go.
Perfect.
So we talked a lot about Patrick's team last week and Ghost Rider, and so I thought I'd build a team that can, actually win a tournament using Ghost Rider.
Well, dick move, though. Man, I'm going to roast you the rest of this event, the rest of this podcast. Be prepared for it. I'll get you some preparation H too.
I know.
Ghost Rider's better than your Ghost Rider.
But my team's I think it's pretty significantly different than the way you went with your team, Patrick.
Probably. It seems like you didn't throw everything into Ghost Rider's basket.
That is correct. I was originally going to, and then I had a team that had. I was leaning towards a team that played Madam Web, and basically gave every single person on the team super senses in some form.
Mm-hmm.
But the only attacker I really had was Ghost Rider, and I realized I needed more offense. And in fact, kudos to Lucas Van Holland and Scott Crampton who suggested that I put more offense on it, and I think that was a really, really, really good call. So the gist of the team is that it is a defensive shell team with actually a big bite to it. So and the whole intention is not to, turtle, kind of like I
previous
played
clay teams
earlier. My MO that the Vegas guys think I like to play, and I have on occasion, is to snag a couple quick points and then just hide in a defensive shell and make it very, very difficult, if not impossible, to take any points.
We don't refer to it as Clay's bubble of protection. Don't worry about it.
So this is more about. I think my strategy here was more. I want to build a team that is not an alpha strike, that is going to assume that I'm going to go second and can survive the inevitable alpha strike, because as if you play on the West Coast, man, we love our alpha strikes. It feels like every single team is an alpha strike team, and so I want to just survive that first hit and then punch back harder. That's my goal with this. And so really the core of the team, I guess we'll say, is centers around Ghost Rider, Kraglin, and Jennifer Kale. So let's run through those pieces really quick. So we got Ghost Rider pulled up. Ghost Rider is a phenomenal primary attacker, and you may just initially look at the dial and be like, okay, it looks like a decent dial. He's got hypersonic. He ignores characters, which is really nice. He's got 4 damage, 11 attack. Okay, but he got a couple tricks that are really good, and I think we talked about this a bit last week, but I'll run through it. The first is that he and adjacent friendly characters can use their effects regardless of opposing effects, and that even includes Pulse Wave. And so you just can't. He makes him a really. It provides a lot of protection to the people that are adjacent to him. But then, as we talked about last week, there are a lot of ways to like really buff him up and get him to close to that 14 attack, 7 damage. You put Cthulhu on him, and that gives him +1 to all combat values. But at the cost of taking a damage every action that he takes.
Mm-hmm. Every action token.
Yeah. Sorry, non-free action. Yeah. And but he's also a wild card, and so you can wild card something like the Avengers team ability and then you can take Empower from the blue ring, and now you're at 13 for 6, and one of the options that you can put on him as a pilot is to give him close combat expert. Now he's at that 14 and 7. However, I will say most games I actually went and then to wrap that up, I put the all black Necrosword on him, which basically means he's going to hit every time. It's there are very few things that allow that he can that will cause him to miss, because he will ignore super senses, he will ignore shape change, and even more importantly, all of those attacks give +1. The minimum damage is 1.
Yep.
Which is why the one that so instead of this blade that you pulled up here, the pilot that I actually chose most of the time was Morbius.
You picked my boy?
Because super strength, the knockback, and all black is ridiculously good. Mm-hmm. Throwing people around, you get that 1 extra damage when you knock somebody into a stop click. So APOC, Genesis, White Shirt, Scott Porter, you knock them back, you hit them into a wall, and they die without, so basically goes through the stop clicks there. So you don't end up getting that 14 and 7. It's a 13 and 6 or 14 if you use a perplex, but it does, you're doing so much damage from the knockback that it's better.
Did you play against a lot of Genesis and APOC today?
I did play a number. I guess 2 or 3 teams. I think had some combination of them.
So how's that work with their stop click though? So it's like you hit them, you apply damage. Does your Necrosword blow up and then you take the knockback damage?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because the sword's immediately destroyed.
That's funny. We forgot about that. They did not do that. I totally forgot about that part of their stop click.
It's when this click is revealed, so it's before the knockback damage happens.
Oh, interesting.
So you played that wrong.
Oh, we did, and it's fun. We played that wrong in every game.
Brandon should know better.
Brandon should have known better.
Squidward, you messed up.
Yeah, Ray didn't. Or no, it didn't matter against Ray because I never killed his APOC. But I did kill Brandon's APOC. So Brandon, I did not realize that. So that's my bad. Sorry, Brandon.
Don't feel bad. It's also up to the other player to remember their own abilities.
Yeah, that's. I wonder if we might have tied that game if he had scored the Necrosword.
Uh-oh.
That was one of my closest games. Oh, wow. Okay.
Because his APOC stays alive, possibly, and then you get the Necrosword.
Yeah.
No, the APOC would still die because the knockback is coming from the super strength. It's just he would have scored 50 more points. My understanding, anyway.
No, but his reducer would stop the knockback damage because he doesn't have the Necrosword anymore.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because I don't think the stop clicks have reducers, do they?
Invincible super senses.
Oh, it's invincible. Oh yeah. But wouldn't it have been Black Necrosword says what? You can't be reduced below 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Damage can't be reduced below 1 during this attack.
And Invincible just says you can reduce penetrating, and it's not penetrating. If my understanding is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
But the Necrosword's off the map, so no effect.
Correct. That would make sense.
Disappointed in you, Squidworth.
Yeah, that's a good one. I definitely messed that up.
We don't blame you.
It's been a while since I played APOC, and he got me because I punched his camo, and I totally forgot he had the rollout from the parry, and he managed to roll out and save his camo. But we'll get into that. I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so
Ghost Goblin.
I'll come back to the Masters of Evil and how they fill out the team, but maybe not. Okay, basically, like Ghost Goblin, could be swapped into the others.
Yep.
I thought he was just a good one to start with because he has wing, and so he can carry some of the others. I didn't want to play Kid Thanos because Kraglin basically filled that role, and I wanted the other spot on the sideline. But Ghost Goblin also get Perplexed, which is really good. He's a phenomenal piece. Being able to shoot through blocking, being able to do penetrating damage with his poison is pretty amazing. And so he'll get swapped on turn 1, but he's a good person to start with. The big thing is that I want Mephisto, because every time I do that swap, it allows me to pull a token and heal somebody on my team, which namely Ghost Rider, who's taking 1 damage from Chthon. And so I'm able to pull a token and keep Ghost Rider on, top dial the entire game. So that combo is really good.
So you're swapping every turn, it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah.
Did that ever bite you in the butt when you needed someone that was already out?
No. You have so many good options between. I mean, even if you could just go between King Killmonger and Iron Inquisitor. But yeah, it was never. And then, or over in Black Skull. I mean, Black Skull has shape change, super senses, mastermind, top dial.
Yep.
Yeah. But King Killmonger and Iron Inquisitor, when you're in the defense shell formation, those are probably the two that stay switching.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I would use with the good stuff team that we were playing back. Just as long as you can switch between those two, you're pretty safe.
So Kraglin is amazing, and I don't think a lot of people are realize how good he is, because you look at him and you're like, okay, there are a lot of other pieces that do these things. There's a lot of pieces that can carry 4 characters, or you have Green Lantern team ability. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of characters that have phasing teleport and can move 9 squares. There's a lot of characters who have a 19 defense defend. But what you don't really realize is that there are a few pieces that have all of those things. And especially the carry 4 and 19 defend, they're so powerful in the combination because you are able to wrap an entire team around that one character. If you have 2 characters that each do those things, you have a positioning conflict, and you can you can't fully take advantage of both at the same time, or it's much trickier to do, especially when you're trying to get Ghost Rider adjacent to them, so that he can prevent their powers from being shut off. So now on top of that, Kraglin also gives Guardian's team ability, and is a wild card team player, and so he can copy other team abilities. But Guardians is fantastic for this team because this prevents opponents from modifying your character's combat values. So Ghost Rider is also a wild card and can take that. Scott Porter is a wild card and can take that. And this is important because the next piece is Jennifer Kale. And I guess before we move on, we'll just say I put Captain Carter's shield on there to make sure that it's actually a 20 defense to everybody it's adjacent to. Really make that shell tough. But Jennifer Kale is the kind of rounds out the defense shell piece of this. She makes it so that basically whenever my team is involved in an attack, that my opposing character's combat values can't be modified. Now this was a little tricky. This isn't that they can't be increased, it's that they can't be modified. And so it actually, in some cases, it hurts me. Like I can't use Harry Leland, who reduces damage and attack by -2. I can't use the boxing ring, which will give -2 attack, because this actually will keep those attack and damage values flat. And so I ended up having to do like a last minute rejigger of my team as I realized that. It also doesn't say anything about my combat values, so I can be negatively perplexed down. In fact, that was a strategy that Paul was using quite heavily because he had a lot of perplex. And I think on most of my games, I remember to use Guardians as a safeguard to that. Not so in my last game, but yeah. But Guardians was a great combination or a great ability that Kraglin provided to my others. Then, all right, what else do we got? We talked about Mephisto. I guess I should say so the Scott Porter, I honestly put him on the team just because I wanted the Blue Lantern ring, and he's kind of like the most efficient way of doing it. But boy, his power bomb, pulse wave knockback is really, really, really strong.
Every team starts 25 points down before Scott Porter.
I was like, that's probably the most activated action.
It is crazy. Yeah. I mean, that definitely won me games. And it's the cool thing is everybody's so concerned. So I think what it took me a couple games to realize is that most people go straight for Jennifer Kale, and they realize you got to get rid of her, or else every attack is going to be a struggle, and nobody else is getting their Scott Porter bonuses because she's preventing that. She's a really good anti-Scott Porter piece, and everybody's playing Scott Porters.
Everybody.
And so she becomes the biggest target. There were teams that were able to crack it and kill her, but I still have a lot of other. But if they do, they're now right next to me, and I just follow up with a Scott Porter pulse wave and mess them up, and then and Ghost Rider is still very strong. And then last but not least, there's this Hulk. Jennifer Kale has the 0 ring, so she's able to make free barriers. I can create a lot of barrier between the 0 ring and the stop sign construct, and utilize that to affect in a lot of my games. So Hulk is able, starts on his last click, is able to basically heal 2 half D6 rolls every turn by destroying terrain markers, and so he very quickly becomes a threat. And so the combination of Ghost Rider and Hulk is very, and then whatever your main master of evil, that's you have 3 very strong attackers. You have Mephisto and Scott Porter, who are 2 very strong secondary attackers. So, and then you have your defensive shell transporter pieces in Jennifer Kale and Kraglin. So that was the team. Basically, give everybody 20 defense at least. Ghost Rider's rocking a 21, and and then try to last that first round of that first flurry of attacks, and then follow up with a bigger, harder punch. I guess for the tarot deck, we can run through that quick. I picked the tower, which causes any miss to become critical miss. Very, very nice with this team.
It's rough.
When they need 9s and 10s and I need 3s, yeah, that's a good
fair trade.
Defend, which was a great card to pull in that first or second turn. It gives makes it a 21 defense for everybody. I think the interesting thing that I will note about this card that I recently realized is the way it's worded is the when the character uses defend, the replaced value is instead their printed defense +1. So it's actually not a +1 modify. It's actually their replaced value is 1 over. So you can potentially go that would replace it with 20. So you could potentially have 23 defense on a single character.
That's nuts.
That's a lot.
10 of Pentacles, it just allows me to pull a token off with Hypersonic, and then if I use if I do the Master of Evil swap, I can pull a token off Hulk or Kraglin instead.
Nice.
This card is amazing with this team. 10 of Swords allows you to use poison to deal damage even after they've been moved or placed during this turn. Ghost Rider, Mephisto, and Ghost Goblin all have poison, and that's a tremendous amount of damage to crank out to people who, most teams are not playing a ton of poison that can be handed out anyway, any way they want. The poison teams are really the animal teams, and they can poison you anyways. They effectively have this all the time. So this card was great. And then last was the 9 of Wands, which gives, when I use Empower from the blue ring, I get a attack. And if unfortunately for my opponent, if Jennifer Kale's on the map, they don't get this bonus. So that's another nice one.
Very cool. Very well built team, sir.
All right. So let's go back to the Alyssa mashup. Bring up that so go back and let's look at that map on my team, the Injustice Gang, the one that I played all this time. So what I would do is and this is going to be a little bit tricky to describe to people. But there's a giant area of blocking in the middle, and the terrain markers that I would use are the 2 big elevated terrain markers. And so I would place one on the lower level of elevation on either side of the ramp, just above the blocking terrain. So that creates this kind of 3x4 square in the middle of that. I put the third scaffolding 2x1 terrain marker over 2 of those squares, and I use Hulk to just run over the 2 pieces of blocking to carve myself out a really nice, solid 3x3 square that is basically surrounded by a lot of blocking or elevation. And on turn 1, I'm able to put up 2. I can use barrier twice, and I put that on top of each of the elevated terrain so that it can't be repositioned because or moved underneath me. Because if it starts to be moved, can't put it down again if there's blocking underneath it. So the basic and there's 7 pieces on my team. Ghost Rider is a 2x1, and I can pop out a construct, which gives me that perfect 3x3 positioning. So they can't get to Kraglin unless they have a range attack. And in the case of Alyssa's team, she just can't there's no place that she can position her team that allows her to start poisoning me. And it puts me right smack dab in the middle of the map where there's almost nowhere for her to run. So that was basically the strategy against Alyssa.
Very cool.
And in fact, most teams it's kind of the same. I used effectively the same strategy. Because the other thing that with this team you have to be very nervous about is knockback. So I wanted, even if I get knocked back into a wall and take damage, okay, that's fine, but I don't lose the positioning. There's no way for them to push Jennifer Kale out or push Ghost Rider away. He can't be knocked back anyway. There's no way to knock my team away from Kraglin because they're all stuck together in this little low-lying area surrounded by blocking or elevation.
Okay. Into your little bunker.
Yeah. So, and like I said, the goal isn't to stay in that formation for the entire game. It's just to survive that first attack. So it worked. I think the first game against Alyssa, I was still working out some of the kinks. We went into the last round, and I think we were actually tied at like 60-60, but a lot of her pieces had taken a few clicks of damage. And then I think like right towards the end of her last turn, the time ran out, and I had one more action. I managed to almost entirely wipe her team on the last action, finish up everything other than the destroyer that had called out. So I ended up getting 300 points.
Jeez.
Nice.
So that felt good. Sorry, Alyssa, but after I got my butt handed to me for an entire year, that definitely was that one felt good.
You've earned it, buddy. You've earned it.
The match after this, I played Ryder. Sorry, I played Brandon.
I know, both seem like my sons.
What's that?
So they both seem like they're my sons, don't they?
Sorry, I was just looking down the list. Yeah, Brandon does seem like he's like your adopted son.
I know, right?
I didn't know you were Mr. Krabs and you were hiring on staff, buddy.
I always could use some help. So Brandon had a pretty cool team.
Yeah, great.
He was very close to making it the top 4 in that game against Ryder. But he'd been practicing a lot. Like, he hadn't lost any games in practice. He's run through all the big teams that we've been practicing against. So he went with Camo, 110 points with the Ock Arms. Captain America, Pegasus Captain America with the Skybreaker. So he gets those 2 attacks. Genesis APOC, low points. And, of course, double porters. Because, that's what people play.
Start 50 points down.
But what you're getting...
This is a theme team, and so with the Scott Porter, he gets a +4 to his map roll, which is very important because he really, really wants to be on that Atlantis throne room, which if you click, you can see is effectively all water. And that's very advantageous to Camo. Camo's really
those sharks that don't die? I heard that was a good thing.
Oh, he is tough to put down. He came over and killed on turn 2. I think he killed Jennifer Kale, and I think he might have maimed somebody else. I can't remember. I retaliated, like I had mentioned earlier in the podcast. I totally forgot about the rollout with the APOC blades on Camo. He hit a 5 or 6, and so managed to avoid. Dodged my big punch with Ghost Rider onto Camo, which would have allowed me to kill him, because I would have knocked him onto stop click, but knocked him back into a wall. That would have put him on his last stop click, which just happened to be right next to my Masters of Evil, who I could have swapped in then to Ghost Goblin and done a penetrating damage off. But the rollout prevented him, kept him alive. All the damage ended up going into his white shirt Scott Porter instead. Which, as we talked about, is pretty potent, but it definitely made me realize I needed to go after APOC, which so the next round, I think I managed to hit a couple rollouts against Camo, and so he did not hit his willpowers, so that tied Camo up for a turn. I went and I KO'd Captain America and then up APOC. I can't remember, but yeah, I think it was very close. I think it was only like a 15-point difference.
It was a very close game.
And honestly, it probably should have been a tie. Now that we talked about how the
just snooker in that stuff away there, buddy, huh?
So I was it was a very tight game. I really thought after the Alpha Strike and then the miss on his Camo that he had that game. And that I was
because Camo still has such high attack values.
He does, yeah. Now, to be fair, he also hit like, I think I had a rollout. I think I had a prop control on him, and I think I was at 20 toward 21 defense, and he hit 9 4
3 times in a row.
He hit really, really high dice rolls, and so he had definitely a burst of luck there, and then with the rollout, but then it kind of fell apart after that. But nice. Really good team, very well constructed, well put together.
Camo for the Camo's you're gonna see a lot more of him, I think.
He's great, yeah. Especially
I think he's just starting to creep in.
Yeah.
All right, good job, Brandon. Top 8. Let's see, who's your next victim?
Victims.
Then I played Ray. So Ray's running a version of the Black Lantern.
Boo.
Yeah, he went unthemed Black Lanterns.
Yeah, I was coding this up, and I'm like, wait, why is it? Did I do something wrong? Why is it not? I think we're missing a few elements here because we missed his build sheet. So I think there's some sort of ring on Black Shirt Scott Porter or something. I can't remember exactly.
Doesn't have the
could be
points
the
for
spin
it.
ring.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was spin ring. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember. I do know that like he had Red Raven on the sideline. He probably had something else. Yeah. There's a little bit of confusion in the game. I saw that he had Injustice Gang hideout, and so I won map roll. I was gonna let him pick that, and then he pulled out the big one and realized, he actually had the other
original
version on, and there's no way to. It wasn't clear on his build sheet which one it was. We need a way to clarify this, Jeff. I think we need to follow up. I know it's in the. It's on the map list because of the map bonus, but I thought the WizKids official rules say that if there are 2 versions of a map, you have to play the smaller one.
But the reason you can play that map is because it has a location bonus.
I know, but
I feel like the answer is just when you write down the map, write down 2x2 or 2x3 next to it.
Yeah, he just wrote down.
Also believe there's a section to write what set the map comes from. So if you write JLU, you should know that it's the.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fail safes that probably weren't done.
Anyways, so I reversed course, let him go first. I put him on my Injustice Gang hideout. I think he was fine with that because he wants to go first anyways. So
yeah.
Which of course allowed him to get his. We've talked about this team before. The idea is use Scott Porters who become Black Lanterns to heal APOC very quickly. He had APOC to full very shortly after the beginning of turn 2, and APOC came across the map, swing and miss. Sky Tyrant came across the map, swing and a miss. It helped that it helps that I have 3 probs, and if he's trying to punch me from elevated, everybody can see him.
Yes.
And so he's got to hit even top dial. He's still got to hit 6 or 7 with APOC, and he did not move. He only had the rollout from the black. Oh, he wasn't themed, so he didn't get the roll. He doesn't have Scott Porter rollouts.
Yeah.
And so he didn't bring the white shirt over to use prob, or Necron wasn't in a position to see.
That is so weird playing Black Shirt Scott on a non-theme team.
I think he really wanted
the free heal.
He wanted Sky Tyrant on the team.
No, I understand potentially why he made it non-theme. That's great. Make a non-theme team, but Scott Porters do not work efficiently on a non-theme team.
You're not getting the +1 attack. You're not getting the +1 defense. You're not getting
the community tokens.
Yeah.
The white shirt Scott Porter is still really darn good.
You can do it with whites. Like white, you can make an argument like, okay, I wanted a free ring and power.
He's using the support. It's really about getting APOC to.
But he got the Indigo ring for free with white shirt. That should.
But he gets 2 supports.
But with the black shirt, there's probably a cheaper or better support figure out there than Scott.
I think
they don't have Black Lantern.
Keyword.
And
they have to share. They have to have Black Lantern.
But isn't Mr. Sinister giving them the keyword?
Only
one character.
Only one. Well, I'm assuming. Well, White Shirt has all the keywords, right? So he doesn't have to use White Shirt.
Yep.
So, but
Black Shirt has to pick one.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, isn't there a 25-point support figure that he could just do that with Mr. Sinister anyway? That's better.
Then you don't heal
Sinister is.
Mr. Sinister is giving it to APOC. Okay, I see where we're going at. You need the porter to pick the keyword so he can heal.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense now.
So after he came across and missed, I dispatched his Sky Tyrant, ran in with, or hypersonicked into like the middle of his team, or his starting area, with Ghost Rider and the rest of my crew, and managed to kill White Shirt, Scott Porter, and maybe something else. I don't remember. Because the strategy. I'm not going to bother with APOC. He's going to have full. He's going to be able to do whatever I want. I can't take him down. I don't have a way to get chew through all the stop clicks, and there's no point, anyways, to try to get 35 points. Oh, I killed Mr. Sinister. So I killed Mr. Sinister because I'm like, he's a lot of points with that black hand on him. I might as well take that quickly, and then finished off Scott Porter, White Shirt as well. He pulled in Red Raven, which was an interesting play, because it was a nice extra piece to pull in. I think he pulled him in from Scott Porter.
From White Shirt, right?
Why does that? How does that work? Maybe how did he do that?
I don't think it should. When a friendly character 40 points or more.
I was looking at this afterwards, and I couldn't figure out like who is 40 points or more who's Teen Titans. I don't think anybody is.
Nobody.
So, anyways, that I guess
Jeez, man, making all these mistakes today.
Well, that was not my team. I guess I could have read the card, but there was already a lot going on. I figured he knew what he was doing, trusted him.
Tisk.
Yeah. Anyways, it worked out because I killed Red Raven, and now I get 75 points. So,
there you go.
It's a thing. Coming up in the world. Yeah. Yeah. Just smack her real hard. Oh, just 6 through. That's easy with Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And your next round was against Paul?
The last matchup was against Paul. Paul, the kind of the core of this is that Spider-Man Prime, who has effectively full map reach, Sicarian Iron Man, who has a lot of utility. Mm-hmm. In this case, the interesting thing is he sidelines Sasha Banks and gives Sicarian Iron Man access to WWE powers, of which I don't know anything about them. And he is very, very masterfully versed in all of the horribleness that they can impart upon your opponent, as I quickly learned.
Slingshot's a thing, baby.
Oof. The first game, I think my defensive shell definitely, it caused Paul to have to really, really think that through. It took a lot of time. He eventually did manage to figure it out and cracked my team, and we had a nice little couple of really close back and forth before time ran out, and I barely edged him out. But yeah, he was able to get all the way across the map. The big thing that I will give credit to Paul about is he really knows how to use the terrain markers very, very well, more so than I think any of the other opponents that I played. And he's able to use my kind of like the terrain markers that I was creating to hide in, use those against me, and able to separate out my team so that I wasn't able to get the defensive shell as effectively. And he was able to dismantle parts of it pretty quickly, but he did not kill Ghost Rider, and so Ghost Rider and Hulk were able to come back and do a lot of damage. So then that puts us into the top 8.
Yep.
So then I played Danny, who was also rocking a Ghost Rider team, but of a very different sort. He was using the Defenders aspect. The Bucky's arm is a really awesome piece and definitely one of the highlights of the Guardians holiday set.
Yeah, it is.
Fighting close combat expert and a super sense on 6 for 5 points. Oof. So Ghost Rider, but he did not have Cthulhu, and I think that that would have helped him. Like, I guess in this case it wouldn't have helped him because of Jennifer Kale. But I think it probably would have helped him on some of his other matchups.
Yeah, the double Pegasus cap is scary because they just hit hard.
They do, but not so much against Ghost Rider. So.
No, not so much against. You definitely had the hard counter to a lot of teams.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what happened. I think he came over, missed a couple times. I came back and killed Carnage Surfer. And maybe messed up Scott Porter. I can't remember. I had a misplay. I pulse waved his whole team, and he's with Scott Porter, and he's like, okay, but my whole team has damage reducers, and they're all next to Ghost Rider, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should know what Ghost Rider does. That was a mistake.
Oopsies.
So funny you say that, because over the weekend, Brandon told me 3 people tried to pulse wave Camo on his stop click. And he just let him do it.
Yep.
So mistakes were made.
I do like how he went with the Hulk though too, with the Order AT. Definitely, and he went with a different version than just the 4 Carnage cap or the 4 Carnage Surfer. So it's good he was branching out to something that's just not Surfers, because Ghost Rider solid, Hulk solid, both Defenders, right? It's like half your team.
Yeah. The good thing about my team, so I definitely had Order in mind. I didn't mention this earlier, but the nice thing between Ghost Rider and Hulk is especially when I play super strength instead of close combat expert, there's very little power overlap between Ghost Rider and Hulk, and so they are able to both make attacks against those using the Order.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I was able to use that. I think we traded a few blows. We both gave up some points, and then I eventually realized I need to just kill his Ghost Rider because he's causing too many problems, and I'm able to output far more damage than he was able to, and so finished off Ghost Rider with two attacks from my Ghost Rider and then a Hulk, and then at that point the game was pretty much over.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he had the Chthon to add to the sideline, but I think the team has something, maybe a little tweaks or something that might do a little better.
Yeah, he needed to play tarot cards.
That's right.
I mentioned I had a few tricks with the tarot cards and the poison.
How about some maps? There's no maps on this board here.
So he did.
I think he just wrote them in.
He ran the Sinestro ring instead of the Empower, the blue ring. I prefer. I think it's easier to get Perplex than it is to get Empower. So that's why I like the blue ring more.
Why the motorcycle
this was a good
on
team.
the Hulk was the question I asked.
So his argument
was awesome on the Hulk.
You get 1 free move and reflexes.
Yeah.
And you ignore characters.
So he would blow up 2 terrain features because of the motorcycle and the Hulk move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I killed his Hulk for the same reason that nobody killed my Hulk.
Because they're pain in the butt to kill.
Yeah. For 10 points. Yeah.
Kill it quick. Kill it with fire.
I think Brandon was the only. I think Brandon killed my Hulk. He killed Hulk and Jennifer Kale on that opening. Click now that I remember, or the opening salvo now that I remember. But I think that was the only time I lost Hulk.
Nice. Yeah, so Danny was one of the BBW winners for having the most interesting use of an ATA, which was one of the qualifications. It was either that or writer's team, and we've already seen that. So let's cover Jonathan's other team. So he was another candidate for the BBW.
This was really cool. You probably saw this in action. I haven't actually watched him play, so tell us about that.
So it's actually pretty cool. So he's got his X-Men swap, brings in his legacy cards from the sideline, but the trick is the Gatling gun. So range, activated with Murder Machine. This character has a range of 8 that can't be replaced or modified. Make a range attack targeting a single opposing character. After the attack resolves, you may immediately make another range attack targeting another character that is adjacent to the last targeted character but was not already targeted with this action. So basically he just kind of gets to go down the line shooting everyone for 3 damage instead of normal damage. So it's a good way to kind of mow the team down. And if he's able to kill things as he's going down the line, he gets his little tokens, murder tokens or whatever, so he gets to make more attacks for every person he KOs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he does see through blocking. That's what I thought.
Oh, that's very powerful. Yeah, I thought this was really cool. He's a little expensive, and that's why he never really saw play. But I thought this was a great way. I think he's all to make this figure really useful. I think there's another trick on here too that we haven't seen a lot of in bronze, which is he is using Hawkman to get swapped into Leech. So Hawkman is one of those Casey pieces that can be positioned almost anywhere on the map. And so now Leech is starting right next to your opponent's starting zone.
It's like 5 or 6, 6 squares out.
And just runs over and suicide bomber, takes away all their powers, and then I think that's a really cool trick. I think it was I don't know if it was, I think Jackson came up with that. He was the
Jackson was the first one.
Jackson did it really to me.
Spin, it was 1-click Superman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 10-point robot Superman. Woo.
Taxi, spin, solid
Superman
stuff.
But
what was he doing with APOC the Beetle Pod? Why did he pick the Beetle Pod instead of a sword?
Flight, maybe? Beetle Pod gives you flight and toughness.
Yeah. So +2 movement.
But APOC has flurry. So I guess to carry somebody, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But now he can phase for 10 squares? I don't know.
Maybe he's just working with what he's got.
What else? Click on Beetle Pod.
Flight, toughness, speed +2.
Speed +2, maybe? Yeah. I thought this was interesting. I can't tell you the last time I've ever seen anybody play the Beetle Pod. So that was cool.
Getting creative.
I suspect he probably just wanted the extra move. Same thing, put Cloak of Levitation on Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic science step. Wants a extra reach.
It's because he swapped. I didn't understand, why does he have is Mr. Fantastic an X-Men? An Ant-Man? The Ant-Man Legacy card?
He's probably an Illuminati. And he's also
Ant-Man's Illuminati. That's really interesting. Huh.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
It's a Hank Pym. That's why.
Those are definitely some X-Men swaps that we have not seen much of.
Because he would make Murder Machine go big, so he could just see over everything and just start blasting fools.
Oh yeah, that's great. And then Mr. Fantastic clears out all the blocking.
Yeah, I'm always when I look at Professor, like Illuminati and Shia are the first 2 keywords I look at, and then I go to X-Men.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is a neat team.
And last but not least, my boy made it to top 4.
Dude, I was so proud of him. Oh, dude, man.
I was too. Like he was a good sport yesterday. So rocking the patented quad surfer team with some West Coast modifications to Nick's version.
So what are those differences? And you, Jeff? I think when we were talking last night, you said you liked this team better than what Nick was playing. Tell us what are the differences? Why?
I feel like it has a few more answers because everything Nick was saying that his team can do is like we haven't run into those issues. So with Ion, you get to pick two stats. So and 2 powers. So you get to increase your range and your movement. So that's basically a +2 perplex. And if you pick the attack or the movement power, friendly characters that can use willpower, if they can already do it, they increase their defense by the number of action tokens they have on them. So everyone on your team, everyone that matters has willpower. All the surfers, they have tokens. It's now plussing to their defense. Wow. So sometimes you're getting +2 to your defense, +1. So it's just you're getting way more value, I feel, out of Ion than you do with Parallax.
And then you're also picking enhancement.
Yeah, if you need the extra damage from enhancement.
That's nice.
On his top,
maybe for the rollout.
Well, that's I was just going to get to that. On this top click, they have Invincible, right? If he picks Impervious, he now can roll out to reduce penetrating damage.
That's cool.
All black, it gives him that extra reach.
Yeah, I didn't understand why Nick would not play all black.
He said he doesn't like it.
Obvious.
He says he doesn't like it. So
makes the game too easy, I guess.
Don't ask me.
Nick likes the tough route.
He likes to play hard mode.
That boy ain't right sometimes in the head, okay?
So it helps because it gives you that improved targeting through hindering for the giant reach. Obviously, it doesn't work against Black Lanterns, but everyone else, right? And he sees through elevated, so he can giant reach through the elevated. Like, it's very good. And then the influence lightning is a tale as old a time. Like, it doesn't get much better for that as a Mandarin ring setup, right? Because if you multi-target, you're getting extra damage with the lightning, and then influence, of course, knockback, right?
Yeah.
Spectral to help with that pesky super senses, or if someone's being really annoying with equipment, you can unequip them, and then spin for the repositioning. Also, influence or repositioning. He actually got really good at like spinning someone out, then influencing him another square. So, like, he was able to learn to get those extra 2 squares reach, right? Porter Sinestro Core Ring.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Absorbing Man and Scrappy Doo. So one of the tech that I figured out with Absorbing Man, if you get it, you should be able to get it 3rd turn out and be able to utilize it 4th turn, is that if you pick leadership, all 4 of your surfers can do something. Because otherwise you don't have leadership on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Who's given the leadership again?
Absorbing Man.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
The lack of leadership is probably the weak spot with the team, huh?
Yes. Action economy.
Still getting 6 solid attacks. Not bad.
Yeah.
And then same object, same maps, same tarot deck. But dude, he played it really well. Like, he was remembering to pick his powers. Mind you, he's only 10. I just want to preface that. So like he remembered a lot of the stuff on the team. Like, the only thing I think I could see him do a little better is multi-target. He gets a little tunnel vision on one thing when he could see like 2 others. He won't target the other ones. He'll just target the main one he's focused on. But other than that, I think he played the team amazing.
Did he ever get to play against Danny?
Not in the event. I think in a practice game.
Okay, I would have loved to see how Order played against the Order.
They did play a practice game, and it was like a 2-hour game of them just going back and like hitting each other once.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So Ryder managed to beat Brandon, which,
yes,
I mean, I was pretty. No, kudos to Ryder. I was pretty surprised. I want to go. I think you recorded this game, right?
I did.
I did not get a chance to go and watch it. Did you see it?
I was watching some of it. I tried not to stand over and watch too much. I kind of came in and out because I'm gonna let him do his thing. Like, as proud papa as I am, like I feel he gets a little more nervous when I'm standing over watching. So I try and trying to let him do his thing. But I was very fortunate to be able to record those. I'm gonna have to go back and.
I'm curious to see what happened there. I don't know.
Keeping it for
posterity, or what happened, because I thought Brandon had a very, very strong team.
So in practice, Ryder lost to him every single time. They played probably like four to six practice games, right? Ryder could not beat him. He got destroyed every time. What happened in their game, in the finals game, is that Ryder hit shape changes first to open for the first attack. So
there's one other thing too. I did notice. I looked at the first minute of it, and it looked like Ryder won map.
Yes.
Ooh. And that's a pretty important thing too.
But Brandon won't take Ryder to the water map. He'll take him to the indoor press room, so it's harder for him to get around because he doesn't want to leave the shark on the map for the free Carnage heal.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Okay.
So
yeah,
Ryder hit the shape changes. So Brandon whiffed his opening attack, and then Ryder went out to kill. I think he went out to kill APOC first. And then he started picking down the other stuff, and eventually it was one surfer and camo at the end, and Ryder just got him to his last click. He couldn't heal. He kept missing the attacks. Like Ryder kept rolling out, and Brandon missed all his rollouts.
Oh,
that's not good.
So it was a close game, but the Carnage surfer style remained supreme.
And then who beat Ryder?
Paul. So that match was very interesting because whoever won that match was going to qualify. So Paul squeaked him out. It was some stuff that we hadn't had a chance to show Ryder, especially like the WWE stuff. And Paul had a ton of pulse wave, which is like a hard counter to the surfers. It just was an unfortunate matchup, but we'll practice and get him attuned to those things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was playing Alyssa my second time.
Yeah.
I think this went better for me than even the first. And because at this time, but by this point, I kind of got used to playing my team, and so and then she just couldn't hit any. She needed 10s, couldn't hit anything, and I just kind of cleaned her up. Yeah. Then it went back to the final match, me versus Paul. I don't even want to go back and watch we were both so tired. Paul had some other stuff on his mind. And I think we both made a huge number of mistakes. It's probably just a total shit show to watch that game.
Well, you came out on top. That is.
Yeah, I mean, he came out. He actually killed my Ghost Rider on turn 2.
Yeah, I saw that, and you were like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I'm like, wow. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Nobody attacks Ghost Rider. I'm like, I forgot to bring out the pilot. I forgot to, think about using Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Not like I would at that point, anyways. But
that seems bad.
Yeah,
Did you bring him out at any point in the game?
I never did. No, because nobody even bothered with Ghost Rider until Paul is like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna take care of this. And it was like, I got punched in the face and I didn't know what to do. But fortunately, he had to flurry to knock him out. That caused him to take 2 Mystics, put Spider-Man on click 3. I Scott Porter pulse waved him and knocked him into a wall. That knocked him onto his normal super senses.
Yes.
Moved up my team, outwitted super senses, and brought Hulk into KO Spider-Man and put me back in the game.
Yeah.
And then then Sakari and Iron Man went wrestling pro and threw my team in all sorts of different directions. I missed I missed a rollout with King Killmonger, which would have saved me.
Yes.
That would have been that, but then I guess I don't know how I've still managed to come back. I guess that little 10-point Hulk just did some work.
He got the job done, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely gonna I need to look more at Hulk, and I need to look more at Prime Spidey. Like Prime Spidey's definitely been on my radar. I think he can do some work.
He's really good. I mean, in a lot of ways, like my team was kind of just turning Ghost Rider into Prime Spidey.
Yeah.
And you could easily do that with him. He good.
But I think, you trade. It's like Spidey has much better mobility, make more attacks, but Ghost Rider has powers can't be turned off, which is pretty important.
So huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of different, different ways to use them.
That'll definitely stop the pulse wave, but Paul knew what to get rid of. It was very masterful how he came in, dropped the elevated under you, and just put Ghost Rider on a pedestal and was like, Papa.
Yeah, flexed him down twice because I forgot to use Guardians. Yeah, it was actually very kind of a funny moment. He's trying to set it up. He's like, oh, I need to use running shot pulse wave with Sakari and Iron Man. I'm like, and he's like, and I'm like, okay, go ahead. And he's like, yeah, I need to turn off Guardians. I'm like, I actually forgot to pick Guardians.
I remember that.
And it actually like threw him off. And so then he comes over, he kills Ghost Rider. I think he took one other action, and then he just passed the turn. He forgot to follow up with a pulse wave because he's like, oh, I don't need to use pulse wave.
Oops.
Bummer.
But we were so fried. We were just laughing at each other's mistakes. It was great to play with Paul. He's a really great guy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to see him come out. It's been a long time since he's come and played in one of the events. It's been over a couple of years. So yeah, he came out strong. He's always been one of the top contenders. So it was definitely good to see him back at top table.
Did he win one of the 1Ks a couple of years ago? I think he and his brother. I think they placed like first and second in one of.
Yeah, Paul did win the first 1K, I think, and it was him versus like Tony or something.
Okay. Yeah,
Jesse won the 1K because he was using the die manipulation team with the power plant, and he was disintegrating everybody's resources because he had all the die manipulation and all his attack rolls were 10 or above, and he just disintegrated all the resources.
Wrecked face.
It's funny to look back at some of those photos from those previous 1Ks where because I think the one that you're referring to has a really funny picture of Tony. Tony looks so unhappy.
He was hella pissed because he's like, I remember him forgetting something and he's like, I should have won. Like, you know how Tony gets upset.
Yeah.
But I'm so surprised we haven't seen them out in a while.
I know. They're busy running the comic store.
It's a trying thing.
Steve comes out to Atomic Comics and plays on occasion.
Oh yeah, that guy.
So he's still playing, but I don't know if Tony's still playing. Which is too bad. I miss those guys. I really like them a lot.
Yeah, maybe they'll come out to the Invitational, remind us of how good they are.
So yeah, 1 month till the big event, right?
Yeah, little over a month. It's gonna come up fast. We have 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 weeks. 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
So now I've revealed all my secrets. I have to go back to the drawing board and put together.
Yeah, you do.
Unless it's that unstoppable.
I feel like you and I are always on the similar wavelengths. So what team am I going to be playing?
I don't know, probably something similar to what I'm playing.
Yondu?
Nah, I'm good.
Yondu, just sit back and barrier up and they can't get through.
Mm-hmm.
Win by 10 points, 5 points.
Chill.
Huh?
Yondu and chill.
Yondu. Oh, there you go.
Let me just take all your objects, thanks.
There's enough cheap barrier out there. You just can't get through it all.
Make a Herald team with all the Heralds.
Free objects.
Not if you can't use your improved movement.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I was thinking, what one of the good. So Kraglin has the ability to carry other characters who hold objects.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought one of the best ways to utilize that would be the traffic barrel.
I know what you're talking about. The plastic van objects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have somebody pick that up and just have Kraglin carry him around. No improved movement within 4 squares.
Can't do shit.
That's pretty good.
It's very good.
I like it. Make it work, Clay. But yeah, we'll do some more theory.
It was fun killing things, though. I don't know if I can go back to playing another defensive shell team, but
I'm okay with that. I'm pro interactive.
Expand your horizons.
See, now I'm just gonna go to play in the
I played the big X-Men swap team at the tournament last year. That wasn't a defensive shell. That was a Super Alpha Strike team.
You did. You're turning into Beast Supreme and who else?
Like a couple maggots and
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you played the one team in Vegas where you were playing Ultron Prime as the defensive shell.
Yeah, so I go back and forth. I like to switch it up. I play different things, even though Vegas has me pegged for a certain type.
I'll let him think that, Clay, and then you're just gonna show up and surprise him.
That's the game. That's the game.
I was tinkering with an X-Men swap team and turning into a 145 point apocalypse and putting Cthulhu on him.
Keep him guessing, Clay. Keep him guessing.
Just instant +1 stats. It's not bad.
So kudos to you, Jeff. Thanks for putting on this awesome tournament.
Oh, thank you.
Pricing was phenomenal. It's too bad that we, some of the people weren't able to make it. Their loss. But
hopefully they'll make it out.
Especially because they're the ones who are not getting that practice in for the big event.
Well, we're going to be at the same place for the Invitational. Like, we had plenty of room. It was a little chilly, but I think if you wear a jacket,
bring your hand warmers.
Yeah, bring hand warmers. Maybe I'll sell hand warmers. Marco. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited for the Invitational. Start getting the prizing, all the product together, and then gonna hit another event with a home run. Because a lot of people are like, I can't make it this weekend, but I'll be there in January. I'm like, all right.
So that's the important one. That's the important one.
It is. Well, especially for everyone that qualified, because now we have, 26, 27 people?
I thought it was 28, but yeah.
Could be. I trust you, Patrick.
And I made the change to HC units, so you can do bronze pulp teams now. Although, as we discussed earlier, we need to remove Star, but it should be fired up and ready to go.
Can't play Star Trek and pulp, guys, since it's not DC or Marvel. Keep that in mind.
And
what would you want to play in Star Trek, anyways?
Original Barclay,
Lieutenant Kyle.
Yeah, Lieutenant Kyle's good. Was that 15-point TK?
I think it was like 20-25, but he had like really good attack, sidestep, and TK.
Yeah.
He did something else too.
Let's play Franklin.
Yep. What's his face? The kid that was in Generations that was also really good.
Oh, he's got Plex, right? Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher was also really good too. Prime Q.
I don't think there's primes a lot.
You use primes.
You can't use primes. I was just thinking about Trek in general.
But the Star Trek, you wouldn't have been able to. I think you're mentioning all of the Star Trek pieces, but in this case, we were debating whether or not it was the Star Trek original series set, which was a five-piece booster.
That is true.
The other one was not. That was a gravity feed. The Next Generation ones. As you mentioned earlier, it's in fact only Marvel and DC. It does specifically say.
Yep.
And it's only the 5-figure booster sets, right?
Yeah, that's
sure.
So unfortunately, no Avengers movie stuff. Sad times.
That is right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that. It's interesting looking at the list. I missed the Star Trek thing, but I did look at the list, and there's actually surprisingly few 5-figure booster sets throughout the years. There are so many other little smaller sets here and there.
Are you saying that I can't play my Christmas guys? Oh man, this stinks.
I know, no Kraglin. Oh.
But I must play my Groot and
Woohoo.
my Drax.
You'll be okay. And yeah, but also the gravity feeds that have like the 200s that have the same set symbol will be allowed.
Yep, those are okay.
So
as long as it's attached to a main set.
Yeah, if you see any issues in HC units, let me know. I'll clean it up.
Sounds good. Maybe next week we can look at some of those Bronze Age
figures that made
fun. Make
I'm gonna let you guys do that.
Let's do that. Let's that'll be our homework for this
Bronze
week.
Pulp. I'm scared.
Come with your top 10 Bronze Pulp.
10? I can't do 10, Professor Clay. I don't have the time in the day for this.
Here, I'll give you one right now. Clarion the Witch Boy.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Not like Lucy Lane or General Ross.
Ooh, that's a good throwback.
You know what? General Ross has nothing on Lex Luthor. I mean, Lex Luthor is the new General Ross, right? Same thing.
But yeah, I definitely feel
General Lane, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, General Lane from Superman Wonder Woman, right?
Shatterstar? What?
Yeah, he's a rare.
He's a common, I think.
You're right. Yeah, I think he is a. Sorry, he's a. Right. He was very common.
Oh, there's some good tricks with that.
Yes, there are. Hope you figure them out.
I already know the tricks in my head right now. I can think of the figures.
He's just so dang expensive.
He's oddly pointed. I'll say that much. He's like 79
like 73
like
points. So
79, but yeah, he's in that ballpark.
Be interesting.
Play some Stiltman, old school Stiltman.
Oh, jeez. Got enough legs?
I haven't put any thought into this at all, so I will have to spend some time this week. You guys have clearly.
No, I'm just ripping off the top of my head.
Well, you're doing a better job. I can't think of anything. I'm just like, Party Thor?
Oh, we got to reach back a little further than that.
I know. So I'm like, I'm not even trying because I don't have anything good.
Oh, Bizarro. That has the
25
spin points.
Yeah, full spin Bizarro is really good. I was just thinking like old school Bruce Banner that could switch into a Hulk.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
The original shifting focus Batman Supermans.
Yeah, those are good too from World's Finest. World's Finest will be a very good gold pot of commons, uncommons, and rares.
Witch.
And then Druid and Black Cat.
A lot of good generics that provide enhancement.
I believe there was an Etrigan potentially in that.
I think you were right. I've never played him though, but he looks cool.
He had a really good like energy explosion, perplex, prob, I think ability.
Okay.
Something like that was very nice.
It'll definitely be interesting to see those pieces be played on small maps, where a lot of those have never been played on small maps.
Overdrive.
Oh yeah,
indeed.
Just go.
Sinister Syndicate will be very good in the small map.
Yes.
Yeah, Sinister Syndicates. That could be a Bronze Pulp thing, huh?
God forbid you have enough Mysterios and you just play them all. Play the first one for 7.
But they're all unique, though.
Yes, in Pulp you can't do this, but it's really fun if you could.
Dude, I'm kind of excited. Like I usually kind of like about Pulp, but like there's definitely a lot more figures to play with here.
I really love Pulp. My kids and I go to the Pulp tournament they run one about once a month, and
nice.
And some of my friends from when I played like 10 years ago got back into the game.
Oh wow!
And within the last year, and the three of them they've been showing up to all the pulp tournaments. So like they don't want to learn modern. They don't want to collect all the. I mean, modern teams are so expensive. Bronze teams are so expensive because they have so many modern elements.
They are.
They don't want to get a tarot deck and a set of constructs. But you know what? It's pretty easy to put together a cheap pulp team, and they're able to have fun. Like one of them actually went to, I think he went 3-0 or he did really, really well with a Gotham City Underworld team.
Dude,
really
Gotham City Underworld and pulp is amazing.
They're great. Oh my god, between the Batman team up and the Notorious set. Yeah.
Joker that gives all Batman enemy Mystics and Poison Ivy and go, right?
So I just, I think it's just a great format for new players, for returning players to ease back into it who don't want to make a really super big investment.
Yep.
And so I think it's a really important format.
I like it. I'm excited to see what tent poles can kind of hold their own.
Thunder of Cord from War of Light.
Just by itself, you think?
He's very good.
He has a glass jaw, though. I don't think he can hold up in
I believe, has Impervious, if I remember correctly. And he gets to pick move powers, and he's a really good pulse waiver.
You know who does not give a shit about Impervious is Red Widow. She says, please.
Yep. Game recognizes game with Red Widow. She's my lady, okay?
She and Falcon are they're pretty a nice little combo.
Match made in heaven. Another really good thing for your pulp bronze is a JSA.
Oh yeah,
from Joker's Wild.
Dang, who's gonna play 290 point Amazo? Got that 20D. It's hard to go through.
Too bad you don't. Do we? Is there sideline in pulp? Yes. But you can't use team up cards.
No.
So you can't get the automatic powers from the guys you've already pre-absorbed.
Oh, from the other one.
Yeah. The common one. Common Amazo is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one. And what was it? His weakness was the Black Widow that was out at the time, right?
Yeah, the one that got nerfed into hell.
She got the Shaquem treatment.
Yep, she did.
What about 125 point Amazo?
That's the one I was talking about, the team up card one. Like, you can't use the team up cards, but you can.
Oh, okay, sir.
Still pick powers.
Still pick the powers. And he's got those like
I love that Amazo.
What does he take more than? He doesn't take more than 1 or 2 damage.
Powers. Yeah.
If you have one of the powers that are you're being attacked with, something like that.
Takes 1.
Yeah. Very durable.
Yeah,
I played the hell out of him.
Yeah. 12 attack, 19 defense, 4 damage.
Yep.
Pulse wave knockback's a thing again, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Well, we're gonna have we still have we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to I need to do some homework.
Ooh, I have a question that was that actually just came right in, hot off the presses. Where can someone find our Bronze Age map list?
HC units.
So can you show me how to find it on HC units?
Yeah.
Let's do this. I think this would be a good way to end.
Start creating a Bronze Age team and push the map button.
Okay.
So look at that. I'm already there. Bronze Age, Pulp, Private, and click our map list. There it is.
Oh, wow.
It automatically filters out for...
Is Fountains of Asgard on that map list?
No.
Ooh, let me go answer this person and tell them to crush their dreams.
It's rude. Yeah,
this is assuming, and I guess, Jeff, you maybe need to clarify this, whether or not the map list is the same as the regular bronze map list.
What do you mean?
Are all of the maps that are legal in bronze pulp?
Yes.
That
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see that. Why not either?
So it should be the same list. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess. I was gonna say I guess the only reason why you would change is if you didn't want to put the 2x3s in for the bronze pulp.
Can you do location bonuses?
Probably not. I would think not.
Yeah. So maybe that's the only thing. Maybe it's worth removing the location bonus maps, or I don't know.
I'll talk about the powers that be.
Element.
And then maybe do that post like we talked about, where to give everyone a reminder of what is bronze pulp.
For sure. Yeah, I'll do a clarification. Give them a couple of weeks to figure it out, or a month or so. Do that this week. Yeah, that's a good question, but I don't see why we can't keep the long maps. Maybe we'll get rid of them.
You can still have long maps.
Pulp was really designed to be in battle really quickly, so that's why I was like, maybe kill the 2x3s because it is a newer format.
So that cut all the maps off from
anything older than BTU,
Avengers Forever, and anything older. So just be BTU and forward.
And everyone has access to them. And there's a lot of them.
The maps that most people use in general.
Yeah.
It's
also very much in the spirit of pulp to further reduce the map list, anyways.
Okay. All right. All right.
Wasn't Arcade like from Avengers Assemble? Wasn't he a super rare?
He was a rare.
Was he a rare?
He is a rare. So Arcade's Arena's got to stay.
So, okay.
Because he's probably pretty good for pulp.
Yeah. Oh, Assassin. That's
not a bad thing. Is like keeping in like the one or two big maps for specific figures. So if you want that big map, right, you can have it, but you're also risking the fact that you may be giving your opponent the map they want.
So it should be interesting to see what some people come up with. There's a lot of spicy stuff. Yeah, I completely forgot about Arcade, but yeah, he can do some work.
Well, let me know what you decide, Jeff, and I can update units to match your ruling.
Sounds good. I can do that. We'll get that done sooner than later, so people have time to build their teams. But yeah, I think that should be it for this evening. Again, congratulations, Clay. You did very good this weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Thanks for allowing everyone to listen and humor me as I brag a little bit.
Oh, you deserve it, man. You did well. Amazing.
Poke holes in the fact that you may have messed over Squidward for those 15 points.
Oh man,
he would have had a better seed all day in the event.
He probably would have been fighting all the incredibly hard matchups I had to face.
You did him a favor. You never know.
He was pretty confident.
He still managed to crack the top 8, so he did have a chance, despite the.
But he couldn't get past Ryder.
Yeah.
Bummer. Yeah, we're never gonna let him live that one down. Remember that time Ryder knocked you out?
Does that mean now Ryder is SpongeBob?
I think it means next time Ryder is going to take second place. It seems like he keeps
climbing. Each time he has placed higher and higher and higher. So
God, what are we going to do when your son dominates this format, Jeff? Like he starts winning every event.
Hopefully I can learn from him and get better.
I guess we could start making jokes like that we'd make with ROC and some other father-son duo. I
like to keep everything on the up and up. I don't think that'll be a problem. Just fix those matchups real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Too funny. I will say, yeah, there was no glitches with the win this weekend either. Sometimes there's issues and shit, but it was super, super effective.
Yep. I'm just waiting to hear when Clay gets the phone call. Just do it for WizKids.
Can you make our event system?
There have been a number of people who've asked me to do so. I haven't been focused on it so much lately, to be honest.
You got
there
time
are a
now,
few
buddy.
challenges that make it tough to do.
I feel like the win works fine. Like it's been fine for me.
Yeah.
Never had any issues.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is it's like, what would be ideal is if you had all of the parts that the Win has, like the HC units and Win have like two very different pieces of data, and if you could connect it all together, it'd be very nice, right?
Yep.
Like HC units does show tournaments, but they're only a subset. It'd be nice if you could go to the Win and then click into the tournaments and see the round-to-round results.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know them. You know who wins every game. You have the player identity. You have like real name. You have their win ID. But you need to go one step further and take the HC units data to show what are the teams that people are playing. So then you could look at like matchups, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to go and try to replicate all of the win. And I think WizKids really does want to know which stores are playing events and to, reward those stores that do so.
Yeah.
And so like there's no way I could ever completely, duplicate or replace that functionality.
No, but if they had multiple sources, they could give a better data set for who is playing and who isn't.
Yeah, I would love to have that. So but I think what I'm saying is it needs to either be unified or, like HC units needs to pull the data from the Win rather than trying to rebuild everything. Because I don't think I can completely replace what the Win is already providing.
Fair.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, especially if they do like if they managed all the search functions and connect to stores and things like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
and
right.
And the units section just is the tournament processor. Like it has no access to the private information of those stores, but it provides the service for the event itself, so you can report events easier.
That's right.
But
I think
also,
the Win is really made for stores.
Correct.
It's not made for the players.
No.
And so the use case is the target audience is very different than HC units, where it's a very player focused site.
Very true.
It's a thing. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people don't record what they do on the Win either. Because I always hear rumblings or people saying, oh, we play here. But then I'll look up in the Win and there's like no stores that do any events. So like they're just doing things on their own, which I'm like, okay, it's not helping the community, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm disappointed when I know there are some stores even in LA that don't do that. But again, it goes back to like, WizKids, it needs to go both ways. WizKids needs to know that they're doing it. They benefit from it, but they need, in order to get stores to do it, they need to provide incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Like WizKids Opens were provided by, based on what your win activity. That was one of the key factors. And, and I think access to like op kits and other special things.
They easily could have done it with that new Deadpool kit that's coming out that's only for certain stores that are doing things like, hey, have you ran an event in the past like once a month? If you run an event once a month, you can get access to this special kit.
Aren't there like chase boxes too or something like that? Yeah,
that's the Deadpool thing. Yeah.
So it comes back to like WizKids needs to start facilitating organized play like they used to.
Well, because what I see is a few days before the actual thing releases, it's up for sale on some Facebook page.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I guess they're not running their event.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is, stores talk to the distributors. The distributors are just the guys that go, what do you want? Like, buy it and I'll make sure you get it and make sure you have access to it.
And the reps get a cut, like a percentage of like what they sell, right? Like there's incentives for them to sell more things. So why would they not sell it to you?
Yeah.
Correct. Like look at the fact with the Wakanda Hulkbusters being like really pushed right now.
Yeah.
and every store can get 8 of them. And there's no reason for you not to buy 8 if every store gets 8, because what's the worst case scenario? You buy 8, you sell 1 or 2 to the people in your store that buys, and you have the other 6, you throw them up on eBay and make double, triple money for the people that want 2, 3, or can't get them.
Yeah. Put in my order.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, those limited iconics is kind of rough, but it's which reminds me, WizKids did a sale, which pisses me off.
Oh, the buy one get one, like on the bricks or something stupid like that.
Yes, you buy 1 brick and you get a brick free. That is cheaper than what I can order it for.
Oof.
And it wasn't like.
But they had a really hard limit on it, Jeff. Only 100.
Only 100 per customer. Damn. Fuck.
Yeah.
Should have done my initial order off of that.
How many people are kicking themselves from Wheels of Vengeance where it's like, oh yeah, I bought 100 bricks. Wait, I could have bought 100 bricks and gotten an extra 100 bricks for free? Ah, man.
Because it's what, 170 plus whatever tax and shipping. So it's probably going to be sub 200.
Mm-hmm.
And you get an extra brick. So that's basically a little cheaper than what I get it for.
And it was good sets. It was Wheels of Vengeance was attached to Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
60th was attached to what?
Forever.
Forever. So that's the weakest one. But the best one was BTU.
Yeah.
Attached to freaking Notorious.
Yeah.
The two sets that work so perfectly in tandem with each other.
But didn't Avengers Forever have Arachnite?
Who cares? The fact that Notorious, has all the Black Lantern traces that everyone's given their firstborn child for, attached to the set that everyone's given their secondborn child for all the constructs for.
Yeah.
Mind you, Avengers 60th is pretty much sold out of all the warehouses. I had to order from the Southwest warehouse. Mind you, my regular warehouse is West Coast. A week ago, they were all zeroed out. And when I happened to put in my order, I saw that they had some in the Southwest. I was like, I'm going to scoop that up. And like an hour later, I saw that sale. And I was like,
let me cancel what I just ordered.
No, they already put it in. I was a little salty. I was like, thanks, WizKids. Way to dick down your retailers one more time.
Or they got you to buy more.
Well, like I said, I think it's ridiculous that the warehouses are zeroed out and they're doing minimum 100.
I was very surprised that they did it for Wheels of
Vengeance. You're correct. Maximum 100. I misspoke. But yeah, put that off to Alliance. I'm sure the stores do that for the stores, and then the stores could do big sales, right? Like if you're willing to blow it out.
Weren't they also pairing that with the
gingerbread?
Yeah. So
see, that's another thing that people will order directly from them just so they can get the gingerbread or get that quantity that they missed.
And
I've lost a few orders that way.
The most expensive to buy things from. That's the thing that most people don't recognize.
100%.
Unless they do crazy sales like this, where it pretty much cuts it in half, right?
Yeah. And they're not. Their cost is cheaper than what they're selling it to for the wholesalers, right?
Buying it direct. And
the online exclusives that is specifically for them, i.e. the werewolf, i.e. the Deadpool one, right?
Is it in Multiple Man this time?
Multiple Man, yes. Yeah. You know what Multiple Man usually needs?
Or
multiples.
But we're gonna hope that it's the one online is not one of those ones you need multiple of.
Wouldn't put it past him.
I got 2 of them coming.
I do too. Because I wanted my gingerbread man.
I think I may have bought mine too early to get him, unfortunately.
I bought a bunch of stuff when they had the gingerbread men coming because I was like, I'm probably gonna need pricing for come January.
I'll just wait. I'll just wait till win one at Jeff's then.
There you go. I gave one away. I gave Gingerbread Man away. Was it at the I think it was at the June one.
Yes.
I think it was.
Dude, you gave away a Nightfall today and a freaking Iron Man.
Armor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're doing good.
People got to come out. I try and entice them with some cool pricing. I don't know what to say. Travel.
Just you gonna have to
I appreciate it.
Man.
Oh, you're the bad dude.
Of course he appreciates you. He won today.
Yeah, he got the iron, the Hall of Armors.
He got an $80 Hall of Armors today. All right,
on top of a brick.
Yeah, on top of a brick. Oh yeah, he's crying over here for driving a couple hours.
So Ryder got 4th, right? So he only got 2 boosters, and of course he opens the Sleep Near.
There you go, kid. Good job.
And then what did you get in yours, Clay?
Spider Knight.
Oof. But did you have one?
No, so I didn't need it. That was cool.
There you go.
I don't think we pulled a prime in the whole case.
Unless Alyssa opened one.
That's odd.
The primes have been really hard to come by in this. I've opened now 3 cases and have 3 prime Damon Hellstroms.
Hey, you need a doctor. You need a Sasquatch because I got an extra Sasquatch and I don't have a Hellstrom.
I'll make that trade. I don't need 3 Damon Hellstroms.
Who else is there? Lilith and
that's what sucks is Lilith and Brother Voodoo are both really good.
And they only come on a very specific brick. I've been paying attention a little bit of this. Lilith Prime comes in the same brick as regular Lilith.
Interesting.
Yes, I don't have either. Those are the 2 super rares that I'm missing. I think Lilith is the 1 super rare I'm missing.
And Prime Voodoo comes in the Prime Voodoo comes in the same brick that non-Prime Sasquatch comes in because he's kind of harder to come by. So I was like, that was interesting to find out too.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those pulled.
Yeah,
they're rare. Keep getting the same duplicate case of the Ghost Surfer and the Wolverine.
I haven't seen one of those yet.
I'm so tired of WizKids and their duplicate fucking cases. Like it's exhausting. Like the variety of switching things up is not there. It
is not true randomness.
Like, when we all open the same case, it's a little hard to trade.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got 2 bricks with the Damon Hellstrom and then the Ghost Surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Anyways, we said we're going to wrap it up about a half an hour ago. So,
hey, man,
but I got to complain about WizKids, so I feel better.
I feel like it's not a good podcast unless either one of us complains about WizKids, 2, we make fun of Pidgeotto and his terrible haircut, 3, we attack Squidward for just not making top 4 and losing to a 9-year-old.
Hey, he's in double digits. He's 10.
Okay, I mean, if that 1 year makes it better for you, whatever let you sleep at night, Squidward. Enjoy your class.
Oh, you better watch out, Patrick. He's going to be gunning for you now.
That's okay. That's okay, because you know what beats Squid? A little bit of calamari.
His team was pretty solid. I could very much see him playing the same team. So
that's okay.
Hope you got some tricks up your hat.
Oh, I got plenty of tricks underneath this
tricks
hat. Not a lot of hair on top, but I got plenty of tricks. Okay,
too funny.
But, that's how we got it. That's how we got to do. It's okay.
I told Squidward, like, if you win, you get to get on the podcast. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
I'm looking forward to the day. Is he qualified for January?
He is. He actually won the Winamap on Friday. So he had the first round bye.
Had a first round bye and still sucked. Got it.
Oof.
It happens, baby. It happens.
I think Clay he lost to Clay, and then he lost to Ryder. Those are the only 2 people he lost to.
Yeah, losing to one of the hosts of a podcast. Oh, you're asking for it there. A 10-year-old. Time to go back to Bikini Bottom, buddy.
Don't worry, Pidgeotto will swim down and hang out with you.
Yeah, well.
So I've now won 14 bronze games in a row.
Ooh.
Nice. Ooh, someone putting out some BDE right now.
Because I missed the Vegas tournament, but I did the one in Tehachapi or whatever over the summer.
Okay. Tepache?
I don't remember how to say it.
I think it's Tepache.
Okay. Well, sorry, people who
I think that's what
know how to pronounce the name of this city.
People that live in weird name town.
It was a really cool little town. It was a great place to visit, and the venue was awesome.
You know what else we talk about that about? We say that about Barstow every time we walk through it. Wow, great bathrooms here. Glad I stopped.
Oh my god.
I would not say no. This was very different than Barstow. It had a very kind of neat small town touristy vibe going on. It was pretty cool.
That exactly sounds like Barstow.
Like
Barstow is totally just the city you drive through.
Are we talking
that's the
Victorville
city
now?
that when you pass that's when you start doing the drugs when you're on your way to Vegas. That's
that's Baker.
All right, Hunter.
Baker.
That's
Baker. You start in Baker, so by the time that you get to state line, you're already baked. That's why it's called Baker.
little fear and loathing in Las Vegas there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that is it, and we're gonna start taking our drugs, I guess that it's time to sign off there, Clay.
I'm looking forward to being inside of you, California, next week. I'll be at Disneyland if anyone wants to find me.
Ooh.
All right. Have fun.
I'd love to find you at Disneyland.
Yeah, come on down.
Sounds good. All right. Well, until next time, practice rolling your dice, guys. Take it easy.
Good night.
Don't be Squidward.
Shake it, Cali. West Coast.